beautiful day, Kickback crew? It's your boy Sheik-A-Deak. That's right, Sheik-A-Deak Freak. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for arriving with another episode of Celebrity Brew Ha Ha. Now, today, Queen Elizabeth II, the UK's longest serving monarch, has died at the Balmoral age of 96 after reigning for 70 years. Now, her family gathered at her Scottish estate after concerns grew about her health earlier on Thursday. The Queen came to the throne in 1952 and witnessed enormous social change. With her death, her eldest son Charles, the former Prince of Wales, will lead the country in mourning as the new king and head of state for the 14 Commonwealth realms. In a statement, His Majesty the King said, "The death of my beloved mother, Her Majesty the Queen, is a moment of the greatest sadness for me and all members of my family. We mourn profoundly the passing of a cherished sovereign and much-loved mother. I know her loss will be deeply felt throughout the country, the realms, and the Commonwealth, and by countless people around the world." He said during a period of mourning and change, he and his family would be comforted and sustained by our knowledge of the respect and deep affection in which the Queen was so widely held. In a statement, Buckingham Palace said, "The Queen died peacefully at Balmoral this afternoon. The King and Queen consort will remain at Balmoral this evening and will return to London tomorrow. All the Queen's children traveled to Balmoral near Aberdeen after doctors placed the Queen under medical supervision. Her grandson, Prince William, is also there with his brother, Prince Harry, on his way." Queen Elizabeth II's tenure as head of state spanned post-war austerity, the transition from empire to Commonwealth, the end of Cold War, and the UK's entry into and withdrawal from the European Union. Her reign spanned 15 prime ministers, starting with Winston Churchill, born in 1874, and including Liz Truss, born 101 years later in 1975, and appointed by the Queen earlier this week. She held weekly audiences with her prime minister throughout her reign. At Buckingham Palace in London, crowds awaiting updates on the Queen's condition began crying as they heard of her death. The Union flag on top of the palace was lowered to half-mast at 1830. The Queen was born Elizabeth Alexandria Mary Windsor in Mayfair, London on the 21st of April, 1926. Few could have foreseen she would become monarch, but in December of 1936, her uncle, Edward VIII, abdicated from the throne to marry the twice-divorced American Wallis Simpson. Elizabeth's father became King George VI, and at age 10, Lilibet, as she was known in the family, became heir to the throne. Within 3 years, Britain was at war with Nazi Germany. Elizabeth and her younger sister, Princess Margaret, spent much of wartime at Windsor Castle after their parents rejected suggestions they be evacuated to Canada. After turning 18, Elizabeth spent 5 months with the Auxiliary Territorial Service and learned basic motor mechanic and driving skills. "I began to understand the esprit de corps that flourishes in the face of adversity," she recalled later. Through the war, she exchanged letters with her third cousin, Philip, Prince of Greece, who was serving in the Royal Navy. Their romance blossomed and the couple married at Westminster Abbey on the 20th of November, 1947, with the prince taking the title of Duke of Edinburgh. She would later describe him as my strength and stay through 74 years of marriage before his death in 2021, age 99. The first son, Charles, was born in 1948, followed by Princess Anne in 1950, Prince Andrew in 1960, and Prince Edward in 1964. Between them, they gave their parents 8 grandchildren and 12 great-grandchildren. Princess Elizabeth was in Kenya in 1952, representing the ailing king when Philip broke the news that her father had died. She immediately returned to London as the new queen. It was all a very sudden kind of taking on and making the best job you can. she later recalled. Elizabeth was crowned at Westminster Abbey on the 2nd of June, 1953, age 27, in front of the recorded TV audience estimated at more than 20 million people. Subsequent decades would see great change with the end of the British Empire overseas in the swinging 60s, sweeping away social norms at home. Elizabeth reformed the monarchy for the less deferential age, engaging with the public through walkabouts, royal visits, and attendance at public events. Her commitment to the Commonwealth was constant. She visited every Commonwealth country at least once, but there were periods of private and public pain. In 1992, the Queen's Annus Horribilis fire devastated Windsor Castle, a private residence as well as working palace, and 3 of her children's marriages broke down. After the death of Diana, Princess of Wales, in a car accident in Paris in 1997, the Queen drew criticism for appearing reluctant to respond publicly. There were questions about the monarchy's relevance in modern society. No institution should expect to be free from the scrutiny of those who give it their loyalty and support, not to mention those who don't, she acknowledged. In London, the death of Queen Elizabeth II, which Buckingham Palace announced on Thursday, is a watershed moment for Britain, at once incomparable and incalculable. It marks both the loss of a revered monarch, the only one most Britons have ever known, and the end of a figure who served as a living link to the glories of World War II Britain, presided over its fitful adjustment to a post-colonial, post-imperial era, and saw through its bitter divorce from the European Union. There is no analogous public figure who will have been mourned as deeply in Britain than Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill might have come closest, or whose death could provoke greater reckoning with the identity and future of the country. Elizabeth's extraordinary longevity lent her an air of permanence that makes her death, even at an advanced age, somehow shocking. The royal family's future under a new King Charles is uncertain. He remarried his second wife, is Camilla, and the Duchess of Cornwall, and his succession to the throne is no longer in doubt as it was during their personal struggles. But Charles has long expressed his desire to streamline the family to make it less of a drain on the public purse, and the internal strife continues as the royals adapt to the departure of Harry and Meghan, who have made a new life in California. Buckingham Palace released a statement from Charles paying tribute to his beloved mother, Her Majesty the Queen. I know her loss will be deeply felt throughout the country, the realms, and the Commonwealth, and by countless people around the world. During this period of mourning and change, my family and I will be comforted and sustained by the knowledge of the respect and deep affection in which the Queen was so widely held, the statement reads. President Joe Biden canceled planned remarks on the new COVID vaccine that were scheduled to take place moments after the Queen's death was announced. Karine Jean-Pierre, White House press secretary, was conducting her daily briefing for reporters when the news broke. She said, our relationship with the people of the United Kingdom, and this is something that the president has said himself, has grown stronger and stronger, and is one of our closest allies. And again, our hearts go out to the people of the United Kingdom, to the Queen, and to the family. But how you feel about it, folks? How you feel about the death of the Queen? It seemed like she was never gonna. That seemed like she was almost immortal. You know, like I was just thinking about it the other day. I was like, man, she is still around. I said she is never going nowhere. I didn't know what she puts in her food. But let me know how y'all feel about the death of Queen Elizabeth and how you feel it might affect the United Kingdom. Also, as Prince Charles as potentially being the new king of the United Kingdom. It's your boy Sheik-A-Deak. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell for more videos. And then you know how we do out here. We out here. Peace.